Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and so they officially drip marketed Lighter, the new character that's coming out in 1.3 for Zenless Zone 0. For any of you who have been asking in the comments A or S rank, I think it's great news that he came out just directly after Yanagi, because they tend to release the new characters right after each other, and they both like S rank. So Yanagi and Lighter both feel like they're going to be S ranks based on the past trend and based in like other games they have. For example, like Genshin Impact, Honkai Star, the patterns of releases do follow very similar trends, and this is going to be a fire stun character. So any of you who missed out on Ting Yi, you didn't really have Lycan, you don't have Anbi, you don't have Collider built at all, this is a very good opportunity, especially if you're looking for a husbando and you didn't get Lycan or something like that. But of course, let's go into the game engine right now. I know some of you are looking to pre-farm this character. Let me share with you my thoughts on what I personally am pre-farming so you guys can make adjustments and prepare for it as well. And there are many schools of thought, right? So first question is, do you want to like prepare a full 6-piece of a 4-piece Shockstar Disco as most people would probably think about? Or do you think that he's going to do something different and you want an ability to pivot? So my approach and my personal pre-farming, I'll share with you like both, right? What the normal person would do and what I plan to pre-farm for more efficient account building. I will go for a 2-piece because it gives me a lot more access to pivot, and I'll tell you why I'm doing that, because I see something that could happen as well. So first things first, Shockstar Disco definitely is a must for any stun characters. 2-piece impact percentage is definitely going to add value to most stun characters because that's their primary job. The 4-piece, some of you more ambitious one, you can go for a full 4-piece and then choose one of the last 2 pieces based on what we will talk about. But I'm going definitely for a 2-piece Shockstar Disco. The second gear that I think is going to be really safe to do, of course, is the fire damage bonus. This one, if you're looking for a little bit more DPS or damage from your stun character, Inferno Metal was pretty safe pick, but the one that I think is much better for utility and safer to farm would be probably a 2-piece Swing Jazz. Why do I go for a energy regen out of everything like a pen ratio, crit and everything else? So far in the game, we haven't had a unit that is very quick, swappy, energy regen focused for stun. Ting Yi doesn't really care too much about that. Lycan doesn't care too much about that. All of the stun characters currently in the game use this 4-piece basic attack, dash attack, dodge counter really well. And how I look at it is there are 2 standard S-rank W engines, which we'll talk about in a bit, which shows the 2 styles of stun characters going forward. So I suspect that Lighter might use a little bit more energy regen than a lot of the other characters. That is my guess, my intuition. So I'm going with a 2-piece fire, 2-piece energy regen, 2-piece impact percentage. Otherwise, you could easily go with a 4-piece Shockstar Disco, 2-piece Inferno Metal. You probably are pretty much set for the pre-farming segments. For main stats, quite easy for stun characters. Orientation, I would say you either go for impact or energy regen. Impact, probably like 80% of people will go for impact, 20% of people will go for energy regen, which is probably the way to go. For slot number 4, this one over here, I will probably go for like crit rate. Since stun characters don't have that much access to great crit gear, crit rate just helps you boost up the abilities a bit more. This, of course, if he has like some special scaling, this does change, but for preliminary focus, a crit rate is quite good. Especially if you have like a crit rate on a fire set, you probably are using it, you can like move your pieces around eventually. And for the last one here, this set here, fire damage bonuses will be my go-to, unless he has some kind of like funny scaling with defense, pen, attack, or whatever not, I can buff the team in some form. Otherwise, I think fire damage bonus is probably the safest pick for the main stats. And at this point, let's move over into the W engines, which I will show you why I'm talking about something really interesting. And for those of you who are finding value in this video so far, do give me a like, comment, and subscribe for more such future content. It's the first time I'm starting to do like this pre-release analysis, long-term farming. So if you find it helpful, you want me to do it every single patch, let me know as well, and we will account for that too. So back to the drive this like farming, right? There are 2 different W engines for the S rank standards, and this kind of tells you that there are 2 main styles that the game will go towards. One is off-field energy regen increases by 0.6. When using EX special attack, the equipus impact increases by a certain amount. So you can see that this is an EX attacks focused stun character with focus on energy regen, which probably maybe only Collider, not even that significant as well. Lycan is more basic attack spam, Ting Yi is more basic attack spam, Anbi is also like basic attack spam with like some reliance on her EX special, but not too much. So most of the characters actually use the restraint a lot better currently in the game, which is like Unga Bunga basic attack kind. This makes me feel that Hellfire Gears likely is going to be more synergetic with a character like Lighter. That's my overall guess. But it's of course a huge shot in the dark, right? Anything can happen. This is just a guess based on like probability. A lot are filling up the restraint, so Hellfire Gears not too many. So makes sense that they will put more attractiveness in Hellfire Gears. But I think if you have these two gears, good enough. I think they will be really, really strong. Gives you solid amounts of impact percentage, which most stun need. Other than that, for the A rankers, you have Steam Oven here, which is more suited towards a Hellfire gear style, where it focuses on energy regen. So this could be interesting to see as well. For every 10 energy accumulated, you increase by impact a certain amount, stacking up to a certain amount of time. Right now, Steam Oven is probably not super well utilized for any character who doesn't require this energy regen that much. Precious Fossilized Core gives you more standard 15% impact percentage, which some might argue is more stable, especially if you can use this from other characters outside of stun category also. It could be interesting thought. The Mara battery definitely not going to be pretty good. So I think like Steam Oven, Pressurized Core, both okay, depending on the style. They are like the baby forms of Hellfire gears and the Restrain respectively, depending on what you're focusing on. 6 Shooter here gives you a nice impact percentage as well. Equiper gains 1 charge stack every 3 seconds, stacking up to 6 times when launching EX special attack consumes all stack, and the skill days increase by 4%. This is great if you're trying to like burst down with a massive amount of multiplier in your EX special attack, but we will have to wait and see. It's a bit more specialist compared to the rest of them, but I think it's definitely superior to Precious Fossilized Core, but I think it's a gacha, so it's a little bit more expensive. Those are my thoughts. So both S rank great in summary. Steam Oven is like a baby form of Hellfire gears. Precious Fossilized Core is like a baby form of the Restraint. 6 Shooter outperforms Precious Fossilized Core in my opinion, but it's gacha, so that's one thing that we have to take note of. Precious Fossilized Core is like totally free to play. So, and the Mara battery Mark II, I don't think it's going to be very useful because it's more like electric damage, which will be much more geared towards Ting-Yi. So now that we've talked a lot about all these like different gear and stuff, how about team compositions and where he really fulfills his niche in my opinion? Firstly, for those of you who have collated, unfortunately, I don't know why Zenless Zone Zero likes to release characters that are exactly like the standards. Maybe it's a new strategy that they have. They release Yanagi, which is literally Grace but limited. They release Lighter, which is like collator but limited. So RIP to these units. And I guess Nekomata, in a sense, Jane Doe, kinda, they look almost exactly the same. But team compositions, I digress, right? For team compositions, any stun-based team will likely find great value of her. The one that I'm looking at is probably a team of Soldier 11 together with Lighter, since the fire set actually gives a lot of damage bonus, especially if you have the 4Ps, you can keep the uptime on burning. So you can see here, Inferno Metal, upon hitting burning enemy, crit rate increases by 28% for 8 seconds, massive amounts of crit increase. So great for a fire DPS like Soldier 11, able to get that crit up. I think he's probably going to be pretty strong as well, Lighter. Other than that, some other options that you can choose, you can go definitely with a teammate like Lucy. Lucy is going to be really strong. You get a double Sons of Caledon team, you get double fire, which means that you are able to like proc more stuff. You can run like Soldier 11 in the last slot, or perhaps you can even run like a Sons of Caledon with even Bernice, for example, and stuff like that in the last slot too. So pretty attractive distribution that you have. What else am I thinking of in terms of team compositions? The question that then remains is he good enough to fit into like other teams? Is he a specialist or in fire teams, or can he go beyond? Is he something like Ting-Yi, who's like super flexible, can play with most attack characters? Those are like some considerations. But generally, stun characters quite flexible, as we know Ting-Yi can be fit into a lot. The most important thing is depends on what their additional ability is. For example, Ting-Yi is Squad is an attack character, you can prop the additional ability. Lighter needs to have something of similar fashion, then he will be very strong. Otherwise, he's kinda meh. And last but not least, of course, I want to share some thoughts. Do I think that he is a very interesting character? What am I looking out for? For me, to be honest, a character of the same element as another character, even like Yanagi as well as Lighter, both of them have a standard version of themselves, so they need to impress in their kit. If they don't impress in their kit somewhat, I am very reluctant to recommend pulling for something that has already same coverage, especially for those of you who have like Colada as well as Grace. Given some of the characters in this game like were relatively much better than the previous, Ting-Yi was like a S-rank version, limited S-rank version of Anbi Demara, and she significantly outperformed Anbi Demara. So we do give it to her for being very strong. But when you're fighting against an S-rank counterpart who are already quite rare and valuable, I think the bar is raised a little bit higher. That's the biggest concern for Lighter, and we'll definitely be making more guides on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys again so much for your attention, watching as well, and see you in the next video.